Welcome back, Belito. I'm super excited to introduce our next guest, a Wonder Woman, a globetrotter, an internationally renowned human being all round, Leticia Cox.
Hi, Diogo. Yeah, I pronounced it right. How
Welcome.
are you?
How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Fantastic. I'm sure our viewers do know you, but just getting into a little bit of background history. You are a photographer at the core of it.
Yeah. So I'm a photojournalist. I studied a career many decades ago, and today theme is actually quite close to what I used to do many years ago. When I lived in Thailand, actually, when I started as a photojournalist, I used to work very closely with the Wildlife Animal Foundation of Thailand. And basically what they did was anything to do with the conservation of any wildlife. So I worked closely with tigers, bears, the Asian bear, gibbons, elephants,
wow.
Cute little animal called slow lories. Those were only one of the most in the legal trade, endangered and illegal trade. So anti-poaching. So I work, I did all crazy stuff in the jungle. So the subject today, which is cheetahs and the illegal pet trade that they are actually facing, is kind of very close to my heart. And although I'm not involved directly with anything to do with them as in help, but I always like as a journalist to bring the story up for making people aware what's going on. And so yeah, that's what's so important for me to actually have the opportunity to talk about cheetahs.
And the background that you had gave you the ability to actually document this illegal trade in cheetahs efficiently and get the story out there.
Yeah.
And what is the core of the story? What is going on?
So actually all it started, I only knew that the cheetahs were in danger when I was traveling about 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, just before COVID. I did that's another story for another day, but I did 5 weeks on my own in Namibia. And I ended up in the Cheetah Conservation Fund. And there's amazing. They're running for 30 years.
Wow.
And they've been looking after the conservation of cheetahs. And then when I realized that they are an endangered species. There's about 7,100 in the wild, in the world.
I was going to say, is that
Yes.
across the world or just in Africa?
And if you think about like 100 years ago, it's amazing. There were 100,000 cheetahs roaming in the world.
So the numbers have dwindled rapidly.
Yeah.
And the promulgation of that being the illegal trade or urban encroachment, what would you relate that to?
There's a few factors. The main was like places like in South Africa or Namibia, where we have a lot of farms and they're taking over the habitats. That was one. Then there was another interesting factor that I learned is farmers think that they see a big cat like a cheetah and they think that's already a predator or someone is going to take their livestock. But cheetahs are not, they're the weakest of the cat family, although they're big and fluffy and so, but they are not, they will just avoid any confrontation whatsoever. And they like to run to chase their prey.
Yeah.
So, but if they're in a land, in a farmland, they will take whatever is available. So one of the things that the Conservation of Cheetah Foundation did told me that they're also teaching farmers to live with cheetahs. They are not the main enemy, threats. But then the cheetah trade for exotic animals started to come into place, which happened many years ago. And then sometimes just to make money, they would take cubs from the wild and then cheetahs.
And the illegal trade worldwide, quite a big one.
It's a big one, but I mean 60% of the, unfortunately, we just found out that the 60% of the illegal trade goes to Arabian countries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and...
is that through them wanting to have them as pets?
Yes.
Or is it used for traditional healing, just for pet purposes?
Pets, and it's almost like status. I was shocked when I started digging into the story. If you dig in social media, which is now getting better, you will find shocking images of wealthy people having a cheetah on their car.
Or a lion on their carpet.
Yes, it's actually, I don't have words for that. So, so they're losing because of the habitat, they're losing because they're becoming one of those exotic, because they are not aggressive. So it's a big cat, but it's not aggressive. You can't, not like comparison with a lion or a leopard. So that's what they take them, but
And is it legal to own an exotic cat like that?
Well, this is one interesting. Cheetahs, because they are officially an endangered species, are illegal. And and unfortunately some of the law enforcement doesn't really happened, but there is an illegal trade. So if people should be aware of this, it's illegal. I found out that some of the big cats, especially the ones in South Africa, they're all protected as an illegal trade. So some of them actually are illegal to have, which is kind of shocking.
Exactly.
Most people don't know. They think it's illegal. It should be. That should be illegal because it's a
Off
wild
the bat,
animal.
it should start from a legislation point and move downwards.
But that will be another story that I will tackle. But the cheetahs are officially illegal to own as a pet.
And how do people get access to your images and follow your stories and get clued up about what's going on?
I have a website with Lens Traveler, and I'm trying to keep a social media as much active as possible. And there's always the stories, like I said, sometimes go from wildlife to more human interest. And I can't fix the world. My job is just to tell the stories so people are aware of what's going on. And if my stories get, to help because people likes image, and then that brings your attention to my story. That's a successful.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And how much time in total have you spent with these cheetahs? Have you built a bond and a connection with them, or have you just observed them from a distance?
Because I've been in different. I'm very lucky to be in different locations. I have been in Namibia with them. I have in other areas in South Africa. So I'm being lucky to find people to help me and places. I've been walking with cheetahs, but you always need to know your place. Just because they are not as aggressive as the other big cats, they're still, especially what you find, because there's two type of group of cheetahs you will find in the wild. That's what they're not doing very well as pets, apart from other factors. But you will find a mom with young ones. That's one group of cheetahs, or you will find a group of males. So they keep apart from each other. So they are very lone. Especially the females are a bit of a loner kind of species. So they, like I said, they will either with their youngs until they're about a year old, and they kind of like she abandoned them or they move on. Or males, they like to be in a group. So you will never really find female and male together, only when they're mating. Otherwise, they just keep themselves.
Roaming on their own.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting.
Leticia, from tigers to lions to cheetahs, glad to have you here in all in one piece. Thank you so much for sharing and for the good work that you're doing. And we look forward to seeing your future projects.
Thank you so much, Diego.
That's it.
Cheers.
From us here at the lion taming and cheetah walking GMNT show, we look forward to welcoming up next Paige Johnston from Miss Belito. Stay with us.